Not all of Florence's Egyptian secrets are ancient. Some modern ones are in plain sight at some of the city's most famous monuments.
It was here, on the famous Ponte Vecchio, that Lord Carnarvon and Howard Carter rented an apartment where they would stay on their travels to Egypt.
We aren't sure which one of these is theirs, but it's definitely one of them.
The position was perfect, nearby the Egyptian Museum where they had donated several artifacts, and nearby their photographer friend, Harry Burton, who, as a matter of fact, lived right over here. It was on this street that Harry Burton and his wife, Minnie, lived. And actually, in this house right here, many visits took place between Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon.
Visits 100 years ago that would make history.
Harry Burton moved to Italy in 1896, where he began to work as a photographer at the Museo Archeologico. There, he met the rich American Theodore Davies, who funded many archaeological digs in Egypt.
A bombastic man that forced many of his discoveries took Harry along to capture the moment.
From there, he managed to meet Howard Carter.
The self-taught Egyptologist had already been working in Egypt for many years, even working alongside Theodore Davies. But luckily, Carter met Lord Carnarvon, who funded his excavations.
And from that, they had their most important discovery.
Funded by Lord Carnarvon on the 4th of November 1922 at Howard Carter's excavation, a young water boy found the steps into the tomb of Tutankhamun.
During that discovery, Harry Burton took his most famous photographs.
Using large glass plate photography, Harry Burton faced his biggest challenge. His unique images would capture the world's imagination and begin the phenomena of Egyptomania. Captured faithfully by Harry Burton, a year and a half after they discovered the tomb, they saw the golden sarcophagus of the king. It was not until the 28th of October 1925 that they finally laid their eyes on the most beautiful piece in Egyptian art, the golden death mask of Tutankhamun. And we have these marvelous images from a chance meeting at the museum in Florence. Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon had made many discoveries. Unfortunately, these were never as famous as Tutankhamun. Their excavations reveal some of the finest details in Egyptian objects. In 1903, Howard Carter began to re-excavate Tomb 20 in the Valley of the Kings. The tomb that was reused by female pharaoh Hatshepsut after her father. The same year, Howard Carter discovered KV-60, the supposed final resting place of Queen Hatshepsut. Both of these tombs were filled with various debris from grave goods, all pertaining to Hatshepsut. When Hatshepsut's husband died, there was a gap because the next pharaoh was too young. She claimed the throne and became full pharaoh. Although Hatshepsut's reign was fairly successful, her successor Thutmose III did his best to take her name out of history. But looking upon the items from her tomb, today we can still remember the great female pharaoh, Hatshepsut. This pharaoh led many trade campaigns, particularly to the land of Punt, where she acquired the myrrh incense she needed to create her favorite perfume. Punt, the land believed to be modern-day Eritrea or Ethiopia, provided an array of botanical goods to enrich Egypt. Her expeditions to Punt were well documented in her mortuary temple at Deir al-Bahri, a place well documented by Howard Carter. In the early 1900s, Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon discovered the tomb of Queen Hatshepsut. Unfortunately, all of the pieces in the tomb have been taken out during grave robbings. However, some very interesting pieces remain that were of no interest to grave robbers, such as these little incredible wooden figurines of farm implements like wheelbarrows and pickaxes, and everyday items like a knife, reed mats, and baskets. What we have here is Hatshepsut's perfume. Well, the most amazing thing is the perfume is still inside the bottle. And these are just some of the pieces that Howard Carter, Lord Carnarvon, donated to this museum. Howard Carter, a man who barely finished school and who received all of his archaeological and Egyptological training in the field, is now seen as one of the most important Egyptologists in history and one of the most educated Egyptologists in history. An unknown fact is that Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon had found many tombs and unexplored places before they had found the tomb of Tutankhamun. And a lot of these pieces were then donated to some of their favorite museums around the world, including the museum in Florence.
For centuries, thousands of Egyptian artifacts have been scattered throughout the world in some of Europe's best museums and private collections. We investigate the enemies, the queens, the treasures, and a mysterious pharaoh. Priceless treasures from explorers and treasure hunters in the city that drew the men who discovered Tutankhamun together. Come with to see the forgotten treasures of Egypt.
Do